Good morning, YouTube. It is 10 a.m. in the great state of Texas. We're taking some Total Boat, and we're going to make a small little, I'm going to call this a candy dish. I don't know what to call this one. This one's a little bit smaller, but taking some red fine glitter, taking some white pigment, and we're going to mix it all together in this small little pot because I'm cheap and Total Boat is kind of pricey. And I'm not sponsored, so we're just going to make a small little project out of this. Nothing too fancy, unlike last week's project. So we've been using this group of Total Boat Epoxy for a little bit now, past 3 projects. And I'm trying to milk as much of the epoxy as I possibly can. So I decided to do something a little bit smaller in today's project. So just mixing up some of this white pigment, going to add some really fine red glitter to it. Going to get this cool swirl candy cane type of effect. Probably what I'm going to call this is the candy cane dish. Or yeah, candy cane dish. Even though you guys are probably watching this in March or April, and this is far from Christmas. I probably should have released this during Christmas, but I already had a Christmas video planned. But anyway, mixing it up in the 1 quart and gonna get that in this small little shallow little dish here. Trying to do something a little bit smaller with this project since I'm trying to get these videos done before I end up leaving for a work thing. So got all that mixed up. 4.5 hours later in the pressure pot. Looks absolutely gorgeous. Even though we're going to pop this thing out, and most of that glitter, unfortunately, is on the bottom, as you can see there. I'm like, ugh, I hate when that happens. Even though you're using really fine glitter, and it usually doesn't do that and float to the bottom, on this one it kind of did. But you still see a lot of that red glitter in the epoxy itself, so it aesthetically looks really, really cool. So I'm like, okay, not a problem. We can still make something cool out of this. And actually, somebody has already claimed ownership of this bowl, so no worries. So it's going to look aesthetically pleasing. So getting everything done with the hot glue, as we typically will do, making sure everything is nice, snug, and secure before we end up putting that on the lathe, because things tend to fly off sometimes. So I'm going to take that Ryobi drill, get the faceplate screwed on there real nice and snug. As I say, I don't screw everything down initially because you will get cracks in the pine board if you end up just drilling all the way through. So came back, got everything nice and snug, and now we are hooking it up to the lathe, and we're gonna get this done relatively easy. So I did this one at night, so you guys aren't going to be able to see this in the sun, but you can see the really fine ribbons that we're getting off of this. You can see them just getting all over me, getting all over the workbench. And this one went relatively easy, not a whole lot of, issues with it. Now we're just coming back, hitting it with a round carbide tool, getting everything nice and even, getting that bottom nice and flat so we can start to make a mortise, getting that superficial layer off. There was a bit of a dimpling in the bottom of it, so we did have a little bit of an issue there, but overall not a whole lot of complications with this project. It being so small, that's kind of why I like doing these smaller projects. They're, no fuss, no real big issues, so that makes wood turning a lot more enjoyable when you don't have a lot of problems, unlike last week's video where dial rods were kicking my butt. So here we are, just making the mortise, and kind of a problem with the smaller projects like this. I usually don't go as deep when I'm making mortises on something this shallow, only because it'll take away from the depth when you start the gouging process. So I was really cognizant of that when I started this one, and now we're just getting that mortise nice and neat. And you can see the good ribbons that were coming off of it. So the casting went really well. The material is really easy to work with. No chatter on the chisels whatsoever, making everything nice and snug as a bug before we actually reverse it onto the headstock there. So once we got all of that done, sized it up real nice and neat, now we're just coming back, taking the faceplate off. And you know what? Surprising fun fact, people, I've been using those same screws for like the past 20 projects. So it works. Take care of your material. You won't have to use a lot of stuff. So anyway, now we're just taking down the pine board as we usually would do. You guys know that I'm not popping these things off anymore with a chisel. It's just better just to go ahead and gouge them down and do that while you're getting that superficial layer off before you actually start the gouging portion of it. And it tends to go a little bit easier because this pine board is absolute trash, so it serves its purpose, and then once you're kind of done with it, you don't really need to do anything else with it. Plus, with all that glue on it, you can't really do much with it anyway afterwards. So sorry about the shoddy camera work here, just trying to get all these nice ribbons out of your way so you can see what's going on. So As you can see here, getting a lot of smooth ribbons off of this, absolutely easy. It went through it like butter. I love using Total Boat Epoxy. I wish they would sponsor me. That would make life so much more awesome. But hey, in the meantime, I'm going to continue to buy their product because it's really top tier stuff. So gouging went relatively easy, not a whole lot of problems. Like I said, something really shallow like this, you tend not to have a lot of problems, and I didn't have any chatter on the tools. As you can see there, we're getting really nice ribbons off of it, real fine material coming off, and I loved how this ended up turning out. You'll see here a little bit later once we start the actual sanding process. Going to get a really clean type of shine off of it. And all we're doing is coming back with the round carbide tool and just taking, a lot of that superficial layer off. And like I said, this didn't take any time at all, less than 30 minutes. And you can see all the cool ribbons we got on this one. And it's a good casting, and you're working with good material when you get ribbons like that. Looks absolutely gorgeous. Loved how this turned out. Ribbons all over the workshop, but now we start the fun part, which is sanding, and you guys know how much I love sanding. Can't get enough of it. So here we are, going to go all the way up from 340, and then it helps if you actually plug in the lathe when you start the sanding, and that's what I was doing off camera there. So sanding, going all the way from 340, and then we're going to go up to 1500, and then we're going to come back and do a lot of wet sanding, and that's where you make your money, and that's where you get the polish for the most part. So sanding sucks, and you guys know that. I haven't met one wood turner yet that tells me sanding is amazing. But anyway, now we're just hitting it with a micro mesh. Everything is nice, neat, even. Getting a nice, smooth type of feel on it. Absolutely gorgeous. It basically looks like marble, and once we hit it with this wood wax here, it's going to absolutely shine. Love how this turned out. I should have released this in December for Christmas, but you guys are watching this in either April or May or March, somewhere around there. But absolutely love how this turned out. Real easy breezy kind of project, nothing too complicated. So hope you guys enjoyed the project. Hope you guys got something out of it. Don't forget to subscribe, all that fun stuff. And there's the final product, and I'll see you guys in the next project. And if you guys want to leave me questions or anything about any of these projects, feel free to. So I'll get to the questions as soon as I can. So I'll see you guys in the next project. All right, guys. Peace out. Hope you guys are having a great day. Bye. All right, so the project is done, and it looks absolutely stunning. I love these just pure epoxy projects that I've been doing. So, smaller project, yes, but absolutely gorgeous. It's like a mixture of like pink and red, and like it looks like a candy cane kind of sort of. So you guys, today is October something. I think it's October 24th of 2021. You guys are probably going to watch this in March or April of 2022. I'm just rushing to get a lot of projects done for people. I kind of have a work thing that I'm unsure about. That's why I've been cranking these out, as I've been saying every week. But really loved how this project turned out. Even though it's not a rush, even though we're, expediting these out, I'm taking my time, and these things are turning out absolutely beautiful, as you can see. So still good quality work that we're doing. So hope you guys like the project. Hope you got something out of it. Don't forget to subscribe, like it, share it, all that good stuff that every damn YouTuber says. And I'll see you guys in the next project. All right, peace.